Part 420. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4191. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, not to say that his heart was surging, but he did have some special feelings. The feeling is very different from what I imagined. Those who should come will follow the comprehensive Tenga after all. In Changling Mansion, Fang Fan's power is gradually rising at this moment. The next step is the last two forts in Changling Mansion, Haijing Fort and Heli Fort. Right, that is it. After Haijing Fort and Heli Fort are destroyed, it will be the capital of Changling Mansion. According to this inference, there should be more faith beads in the city of Changling Mansion. Fang Fan groaned, his expression was solemn. With the orientation, it will be much easier if you want to execute it next. Gradually, there was a deeper sense of impetus. Everything is being crushed in an all-round way. 3 days later, Haijingbao and Helibao were taken by the trend. 30 million faith beads were seized again. The number of 4-star pseudo-god realm legions under Fang Fan's command has changed from 4 to 6. 10 legions, 6 4-star pseudo-god realm legions and 4 3-star pseudo-god realm legions. Brother Fang Fan, we are now in a position of power, should we give our power a name? He, before you said that our Fi Long Jai would become the 4th largest power in Changling Mansion, I always thought it was a lie, but now it seems that it is all true. We can't keep using the name of Fi Long Jai now, can we? Lu Dalong scratched his scalp, then said to. It is indeed necessary. Fang Fan nodded, his eyebrows raised silently, his eyes flickered, and his thoughts wandered in place. Named. Otherwise it's called, how about White Emperor City? Fang Fan groaned, and continued. White Emperor City. That's a good name. Poetic and domineering. Good. Excellent. Lu Dalong nodded and smiled from the bottom of his heart. In the name of Beatty City, start sailing today. Changling Mansion, the mansion of the Mansion Master. At this moment, no one here dared to speak casually. The Palace Master is in a very bad mood these days, very bad. The 10 forts of Changling Mansion are now completely wiped out. As the Palace Master, he can only settle down in a corner, staying in this palace. But it is not as safe as expected. Even if he wants to settle down in a corner and continue to stay here, will others be happy? Will you just ignore him? Obviously, these are pure idealists. In the end, what should be, or what should be? The picture that was demonstrated in place in the end will still make people feel extremely depressing. To be honest, that kind of feeling is not good. Even, very aggrieved. For a while, there were waves of urges to vomit. Consciousness, fully gathered, gradually, completely numb. Boom. Suddenly. In the room, there will be bursts of noise from time to time. Either the porcelain was dropped, or the table was tragic. Anyway, at this time, it seems a little dazed. Defeated. We lost again. You tell me. What exactly should the Palace Master do to save the defeat? Haijingbao and Helibao. They didn't last even a day. It's gone, it's all gone now. Do you still have the nerve to stand here? Why don't you go die? Go straight to the wall. You shouldn't be standing here. Didn't you say that the king humiliated his ministers to death? My palace master has been insulted like this now, why do you feel that you have no reaction at all? One by one, do you still have a conscience? You bastards. There is no good thing. Say it. Say it. Why are you dumb? Not talking anymore. My palace master tells you, don't even think about surrendering to the enemy. There are no eggs under the nest. If this palace master really collapses, just you people, One counts as one, and this palace master has to take away. Ha. Ha ha. Let's see then. Let's see how to kill you. Where's Li Yafu? This bastard took away the 2,000 soldiers and horses of the palace master, and the entire army was wiped out, so he ran away. Damn thing. It's all dog stuff. There is no one reliable. You can't. You can't all. Is the sky in Changling Mansion about to collapse? Rebel. Rebel. Fang Fan. Lay high. You all come if you have the ability. Come one, die one. Come two, and we'll kill them all. Hesteri's roar followed, and the entire palace lord's mansion seemed very gloomy. Lu Hong, the head of the palace, was unhappy, and wanted to vent his anger by killing people at every turn. How could life for these people be better? It becomes bitter at every turn. As long as you feel that kind of hard life, your brain will completely collapse. Impermanence of life. Large intestine wrapped small intestine. Too difficult. The more I think about it, the more meaningless I feel. Finally, it's all over. What's the point of this final end? Now many soldiers and generals in the city lord's mansion simply ran away. The building is about to fall. If you don't run, do you really want to stay in this ghost place to die? They don't want to show their loyalty to the monarch and the country in this way. That's all bullshit. Changling Mansion is still owned by the owner Lu Hong. The Changling Mansion kept it, and the only one who was happy was that Lu Hong. Did he have anything to do with them? Really boring. Snow Eagle Fort. Sure enough, I read it right. He's really become famous. Fang Fan. Hee. It's an ordinary name, but it has a different charm. Why? He appeared suddenly like a nightmare, and then caught everyone by surprise. If this continues, the sky in Changling Mansion will really change. Order to go on, launch a general attack on Fukin tomorrow. Don't wait. Before that Fang Fan rises completely, get rid of that old man Lu Hong first. When we truly control the Changling Mansion, we will come back to fight this Fang Fan. The position of the head of the Changling Mansion is very good, but this Fang Fan is not easy to fight against. Speed, faster. Otherwise it will be too late. Lei Hai, the owner of Snow Eagle Castle, squinted his eyes, and couldn't help but flicker while talking at the moment. Thoughts are flying in place, and the rhythm is fully contained. The more you think about it, the more intense your feelings become. In fact, he also attached great importance to Fang Fan before, and felt that Fang Fan would get up sooner or later, but it was more to show his arrogance from the perspective of a superior. But now, he clearly reached a crisis point. Crisis is coming. This is a crisis belonging to the entire Snow Eagle Fort. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4192. Thinking of this, the whole person immediately calmed down a lot. As his eyes flickered, he gradually became a lot looser. A smile gradually appeared on the corner of his mouth, and then he felt inexplicably relieved. What should come will always follow. Those unnecessary feelings are unnecessary. The feeling must be real. At the end, we must fully grasp it. That's pretty much how it feels. Silently, the brilliance in the eyes flickered to the extreme. Those who should come will always follow, and in the end there will be not so many things. Changling Mansion is in agitation. Outside the capital city, the 8,000 troops belonging to Snow Eagle Fort were mighty and mighty. These days, Lei Hai, the owner of Snow Eagle Castle, is recruiting troops. The 8,000 army is his confidence to attack Fukin. And at this moment, within the city of Changling Mansion, there are less than 5,000 soldiers and horses. At least in terms of military strength, Changling Mansion is already at a disadvantage. How to do? Where are the reinforcements from other prefectures? They accepted all the treasures sent by the palace lord with a smile. Now they are sitting on the mountain watching the tigers fight, aren't they? Ah! Why don't you come? Where are their soldiers and horses? Oh shit! I have eaten so many benefits from my palace master. Now give me this trick. Shameless. Lay high. You wolf-hearted fellow. Damn it. If I had known about your wolf ambition earlier, I should have twisted your head off. Isn't this the palace master's dog back then? The mentality of Lu Hong, the head of the Changling mansion, seemed a little broken. At this moment, I couldn't help roaring around. The yelling became more and more intense, the posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and the circles of the eyes gradually turned red. At this moment, I can't wait to completely obliterate everything in the moment. Who can understand this feeling? Who can understand? I can't wait to devour everything here. That kind of restless mood, let alone talk to anyone. Feeling uneasy right now? Ah! Ah! Hateful! Hateful! Where are people? Where's Yexiang? Where did she go? Let her come and serve me. Let her come over. Give me the palace lord to call her over. Mansion master Lu Hong is a little crazy now. While talking, he roared and ran towards the backyard. He needs to find his concubine Yexiang to vent his anger. As for why his concubine was called Yexiang, it was mainly because the mansion master Lu Hong had some little hobbies. Every time he calls this name, he can feel endless joy in his heart. That taste, that feeling, instantly became violent. The idea here bursts out infinitely. Burst. Come on. Keep coming. Who will fight? Directly suppress you to the limit. Unlimited oppression, hang and beat all dissatisfied? The more I think about it, the more comfortable I feel. Immediately, it was completely difficult to control the taste of it. Sprinting to his concubine Yexiang's room, Palace Master Lu Hong suddenly frowned. There's something wrong here. There are still some strange noises inside. Palace Master Lu Hong's complexion changed instantly. For some reason, he felt as if green grass had grown on top of his head. Ah! Hateful! Damn! How dare you treat him like this? Die! Must die! Boom! Palace Master Lu Hong kicked open the door directly, and the picture inside was unsightly. At this moment, his most beloved concubine, Yexiang, was tidying up her clothes, and at the same time, a man was busy getting dressed. Palace Master, no. Not me. Yes, it's him who persecutes me. It's the eldest son who persecuted me. I can't. My lord, Yexiang has always loved you the most. Yexiang wants to serve you forever. My lord. Yexiang immediately became flustered, and while she was talking, she immediately began to act coquettishly. In the past, the owner of the palace, Lu Hong, liked this concubine Yexiang very much, but now he only has endless resentment in his heart. He stared at the man in front of him, his eyes gradually bloodshot. Dad. Father. My son is wrong. My son dare not. Father. It's Yexiang. It's her. It's her who seduced me. Father, I am your own son, how could I take the initiative to do such a thing? Father. Ah. Don't hit. Don't hit. It hurts. Dad. I am your own flesh and blood. Lu Shen trembled with fear. His father is really killing him. Every blow can kill him half of his life. After fighting for a long time, Palace Master Lu Hongke released Lu Shen tremblingly. If it weren't for you being my son, I would have cut you into 8 pieces. Go. Take this sword. Kill that bitch. Forget about it. Such witches must be killed. Mansion Master Lu Hong was so angry that he was about to suffer a cerebral hemorrhage. This bastard son. Ah. Dad, Dad. Otherwise, let's have a good discussion. Anyway, it's best not to kill anyone. It's not good, it's really not good. The trembling posture followed, and for a while, the eyes gradually became hazy. The expression changes extremely realistically. For a while, it was completely numb. Not good. Ah. You still know it's not good. You still want to protect this bitch. I'm putting my words here today. Either she will die or you will die today. You dog, you don't really have any feelings for her, do you? Dog thing. Dog thing. Hesteri's roar followed, and his expression gradually became vicious. For a moment, the suppression is directly to the extreme, and you will be suppressed every minute. When I think of this, I feel boundless annoyance in my heart. Hateful. Nor, not this. Father, Yexiang, she's pregnant. Lu Sheng lowered his head and said tremblingly. Pregnant, pregnant. Mansion Master Lu Hong was stunned on the spot, his eyes were full of shock at the moment, he couldn't believe it. Hateful. Hateful. What the hell are you kidding? Is Lao Zi's heart not so good? Is it yours, or mine? Mansion Master Lu Hong almost gritted his teeth. At this moment, the mentality and consciousness of the whole person have long been shattered. It's not bad if it's not directly pissed off. Thinking of this moment, my heart is bleeding. Impermanence of life. What's yours and mine? Father. I think we still need to have a pattern. Whether it's yours or mine, aren't they all from our family? Father, do you think so? Lu Sheng said with a hippie smile. Snapped. Mansion Master Lu Hong was so angry that his hair stood on end. At this moment, she clenched her teeth tightly, her expression extremely sinister. He has never been so speechless. This is his own son. Puff. Palace Master Lu Hong spat out a mouthful of blood. Evil obstacle. Evil obstacle. See if labor and capital don't beat you to death. Damn thing. Turtle bastard. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4193. In the Palace Master's mansion, the noise continued for a long time. From time to time, a wave has to erupt. For those people in the Palace Master's mansion, they have already gotten used to it a long time ago. It's just that this time it's a little bit special. It seems that the Palace Master and the eldest son are making noise inside. When the army is pressing down on the border, you don't want to retreat from the enemy, but you are still here. What's the matter? Why does it feel a little special? Inexplicably, waves of sand sculpture consciousness swept through. It just doesn't feel right. There are many tricky looks hidden in it. Next, how to promote it is the most important thing. Kill or not? Palace Master Lu Hong stared at his son Lu Sheng, his tone softened a little. Father, they are all pregnant, how can I kill them? Lu Sheng said helplessly. Father, why don't you wait until the child is born and see who it is, and then it won't be too late to kill him. Lu Sheng continued to add. Lu Hong. In this case, even if blood is used to recognize relatives, there is no detection result. But it's better to experiment. Anyway, let's find out whose child it is. This generation can't be messed up. Mansion Master Lu Hong gritted his teeth and stared at the belly of his concubine Yes Yang, with a stubborn expression on his face. Impermanence of life. How could this kind of shit happen to him? Bad luck. How unlucky. Almost vomiting blood. You can't do this shit. The more I think about it, the more I feel the blood surging in my heart. At this moment, I can't grasp it at all. Damn it. Damn it. Ah. Father, the key point is that you can't recognize your relatives with blood. This child hasn't been born yet. Lu Sheng blinked. Snored. According to the ancient secret method, it is enough to pierce the abdomen with silver needles, and then extract a little blood from the embryo. Bring it on. Mansion Master Lu Hong groaned, and immediately began to operate. The little concubine Yes Yang was trembling at the side and didn't dare to speak. She was lucky to be able to save her life at this moment. She now hopes that this child belongs to the palace master. If so, the palace master may spare her life. Thinking of this, my concubine Yexiang couldn't help becoming nervous. The embryonic blood was extracted. Put it in the water now. You come first or labor and management come first. Palace Master Lu Hong frowned. Ah. This, Dad, you should come first. Lu Sheng said humbly. Snort. Palace Master Lu Hong snorted coldly, then bit his own finger, and dripped a drop of blood into it. Blood was never compatible. Palace Master Lu Hong's complexion turned extremely cold in an instant. This is not my son. Etc. Even if this is my grandson, even if the degree of mutual integration is not so high, it is not so repulsive. Bitch. Whose species is that in your stomach? It's not mine, and it shouldn't be Lu Sheng's either. Bitch. How many green hats have you put on labor and management? Mansion Master Lu Hong stared at his concubine Yes Yang through gritted teeth, and almost fainted from anger at this moment. Immediately, he directly pinched the throat of my concubine Yexiang, as if trying to kill her. Oh shit. This is too irritating. The whole person was immediately exhausted. While grinding his teeth at this moment, his complexion became more and more sinister. Hateful. All this hateful thing. The more I think about it, the more messy I feel. Damn thing. It's all humming dog stuff. Just vomited. No. No. Just the two of you. You can't go wrong. The child cannot be someone else's. Could it be that the method of recognizing relatives with a drop of blood is simply unreliable at all? Otherwise, let the eldest son bleed again. The concubine Yexiang felt the strong killing intent of the mansion master Lu Hong, and immediately grabbed the last straw. Father, let me try again. Maybe there is something wrong with your method. Lu Sheng followed suit. Snort. Stupid. This is the ancient secret method. How could there be an accident? Mansion master Lu Hong sneered, and immediately saw that his son Lu Sheng had successfully bit off his finger, and then that drop of blood entered the clear water. The blood taken from the child's embryo and Lu Sheng's blood were perfectly fused together. And the blood of the palace master Lu Hong stayed alone, without any fluctuations at all. Palace master Lu Hong's face became even colder. Father. My child. This is my child. Father. You can let Yes Yang go now. Yexiang didn't lie. Father, please, since Yes Yang didn't lie, you will be killed. What's in her stomach is your grandson after all. Lu Sheng smiled. Little did he know that at this moment the palace master Lu Hong's heart had already exploded on the spot. She didn't lie to me, but your mother did. What your mother hides is really deep. You and the blood of this bastard are not compatible with me. This shows that you are not related to me by blood. You and this bastard are indeed father and son. But labor and capital have nothing to do with you and this bastard. Ah. You are not my own son either. The green hat your mother gave me. Ah 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 ah. Palace Master Lu Hong roared immediately. But for any individual, when encountering such a thing, he is more or less overwhelmed. You may even feel that life has no meaning and no pursuit. At this glance, I was completely at a loss. Damn thing. It's all dog stuff. The more I think about it, the more messed up I feel in my heart. What is the meaning of this? Collapsing and numb directly. Why is the urge to vomit blood so strong? When I think of this, I have nothing to say. Really want to kill all this. The truth locks it all in. At this moment, I can't cover it at all. Can you calm down a little bit? It's been so messy all the time, who can stand it? I don't want to say the vicious words anymore, I want to vomit blood now. Ah. No way. Dad, you hold on. Father, don't think too much. This method of blood recognition is indeed, really unreliable. Father, don't believe me. You should be more careful. Gudong. Panic. Lu Sheng panicked. The matter just now was big or small. It's fine for father to beat him up, no matter how hard he beats, at least he can save his life. If it is found out that he is not the biological son of the father, how can he keep it? At that time, it will be really fatal. Thinking of this, the whole body is shaking accordingly. At this moment, his lips are pursed, his eyes are slack, and he can't say a word. Mentality or something, has long since exploded to the extreme. Lu Sheng wanted to run away. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4194. This momentum is not right. Looking at the situation, it is not as simple as fighting. If you are not careful, you will lose your head. Unexpectedly, he just stole something, why did he cause so many troubles? What the hell, did you get the previous generation? Father, if there is nothing wrong, I will leave first. It's up to you, Dad, to deal with it. You can do whatever you want. Dad, don't worry, no matter what you say, I will listen to you. Lu Sheng rolled his eyes, seeing that the situation was not right. Why are you still staying in this ghostly place? It is true to run away earlier. If this thing doesn't run anymore, I'm afraid it will really follow suit. Thinking to this point, in fact, it is not just as simple as panic, etc. Why are you in such a hurry? Do we need to be so restrained between our father and son? Mansion Master Lu Hong said in a negative way. As he spoke, he was already gnashing his teeth. The aggrieved feeling in my heart then broke out in an all-round way. At this moment, he clenched his teeth viciously, and his eyeballs were about to pop out. One can imagine how violent the mood at this moment is. Hateful. Hateful. Thinking of this, I almost vomited blood. It's all damn it. Father, what do you want to do? Father, you have to calm down. What my mother did has nothing to do with me. And your method of recognizing relatives with a drop of blood really may not work. Daddy. Be steady. Lu Sheng made a fool of himself first, and then made a gesture to run away. It's so damn difficult. If you continue to stay in this ghost place, he will explode directly on the spot. Hateful. Really hateful. Steady. Ah. Labor and management have never been so stable. Oh shit. My Lu family is bewitched. It's fine if there are no wild species. Once they come out, there will be two. Die. Click. Boom. With a slap, Lu Sheng died, and there was no room for resistance. The little concubine Yes Yang who was stuck in the corner was completely dumbfounded. Won't it be so vicious? This is the rhythm to kill her completely. It's so hard, it's really too hard. What the hell? Impermanence of life. Can you please stop? Master, Palace Master. Yexiang can kill this child. Yexiang still wants to continue serving you. Didn't you say that you like Yexiang the most? Yexiang's name was given by you. Master. Ah. The concubine Yexiang's begging for mercy had no effect. At this moment, I will kill you directly. At this time, it is so simple and casual. Let's kill him first. The rest, later on. At this moment, it is clearly a dead end. Calmly on the ground, directly cool. After killing 2 people in a row, Palace Master Lu Hong's mood slightly improved. The depression in my heart finally vented a little bit. My lord. The enemy army. Boom. The staff of the Changling mansion wanted to come in to report the current battle situation, but seeing the dead bodies of the mansion lord's son and concubine on the ground, they immediately became confused. At this moment, he swallowed his saliva, and then began to gasp for breath. The whole person was limp on the spot. How could he say a complete sentence at this moment? At that moment, the fear and anxiety in my heart gathered together, black lines flickered on my forehead, and my consciousness, completely withered. Cool moonlight, it's in place, it's really in place. This thing is really terrible. At this moment, there is quite an urge to vomit. Even a little bit of rhythm is fine. Suddenly it exploded like this. Who can stand this? Wouldn't he just follow Bang Chen and become numb right now? It's as bad as it gets right now. At the same time, the legs and feet were completely unable to move. Terrible. Explain. What's up? Palace Master Lu Hong said with a cold face. My lord, this, young master. Snapped. Before the staff member could say anything, he was rewarded with a big mouth. If you can't speak, just shut up. When you can't speak, you have to say something abruptly, which is actually the biggest stupidity. Speak business. Do you also want to take care of the family affairs of the palace master? If you really don't want to live anymore, just say so. My palace master can fulfill you. The cold voice is fully in place, and it feels inexplicably dark at the moment. At this moment, his whole body was extremely cold, and he didn't know what to say. Terrified, the ultimate sense of panic swept over, and the whole body was trembling crazily. This thing is horrible. Throwing up, almost throwing up right away. My lord, please forgive me. Yes, the army of Snow Eagle Castle is already launching a fierce attack. Lei Hai, the lord of Snow Eagle Castle, personally led the charge. Although our soldiers are fighting hard to resist, but the army in Snow Eagle Castle is too crazy, we can't resist at all. And I heard that Fang Fan formed a faction called Beatty City, and now he is also leading troops towards our city. My lord, we are outnumbered. My lord, I suggest you evacuate first. The wood trembled. Evacuate? Where are you going to evacuate? Heh. Heh. Ridiculous. Extremely ridiculous. Is it possible that the palace master is afraid of the truth? No. Impossible. It's just 2 traitors. My palace master wants to kill them, it's easy. Just because they want to be presumptuous in front of the palace master. Humph. It's still a little tender. If you want to die, the palace master will fulfill them. Tell the soldiers, if you defend the city and repel those traitors, the lord of the palace will reward you a lot. If not, the palace master will kill all these trash. Including you. Once the palace city is broken, the palace master will use you as a sacrifice. Palace Master Lu Hong glared fiercely at his staff, and the fierce light in his eyes flickered to the extreme at this moment. For a while, there was an extremely strong sense of oppression, and it would be breathtaking in minutes. The taste and touch, especially overwhelming. Immediately, he fell into it directly and couldn't extricate himself. In the end, it was completely numb. Overall, that's pretty much it. True and clear. My lord, we need to recognize the reality, now we. Boom. Just as the staff member wanted to say something more, he was directly shot to death. This guy is also really unlucky. If you say these inappropriate words at an inappropriate time, if you don't die, who will die? There is no such thing as vision. Changling Mansion is mine. No one wants to take it away. Whoever dares to take it, I will destroy whoever. Lay high. Fang Fan. The traitor must die. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4195. He just went through those messy cuckold incidents, so at the moment the Palace Master Lu Hong's mood is very unstable. When I see anyone, I feel unhappy, and then I want to go up and slash and kill a wave. This idea is about to be completely condensed at this moment. Right now, that's exactly how it feels. At this moment, the more I think about it, the more restless I feel. At the moment when his face was gloomy, the rhythm and so on, all followed suit. The more I think about it, the more I feel a splitting headache. Hateful. All this hateful thing. Don't you have to growl a few times right now? Who can stand this thing? Just talk about these things at every turn. Mentally, I really can't hold back. At this moment, something has to happen. Just as Snow Eagle Fort's army was attacking the city of Changling Mansion, Fang Fan also came with his men. He had originally come to capture Fukin, but he didn't expect Snow Eagle Fort to take the lead. Of course, Fang Fan's so-called capture means that he needs to use the resources of Fukin to cultivate himself first, and then take off step by step. Brother Fang Fan, we need to speed up. Otherwise, we won't have a chance when Snow Eagle Fort wins Fukin. Lu Dalong was impatient. A few months ago, he would not have dared to think that such an achievement would still exist today. Life is impermanent. Now it's time to attack Fukin. Their development speed is really too fast. It feels like you've been riding a rocket soaring up. Anyone will fall behind, and there is simply no way to keep up. This is not a ladder at all. As soon as he thought of this, his eyes flickered in place, and the smile on the corner of his mouth gradually increased. The mood is extremely graceful. Brother Lu, don't worry for now. Wait for them to fight for a while. Then we can go directly to Fukin. Go to Fukin to search for a wave first. All the armies are caught in the war, and the Fukin must be the emptiest. As long as we can grasp it well at this time, basically it will not be a problem. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then revealed his plan in full. Brother Fang Fan wants to have a snipe and a clam fight for the fisherman's profit. That's a good idea. Brother Fang Fan, look at my pig head, why didn't I think of this level? Hey, Brother Fang Fan, you are more knowledgeable. My brain is really too stupid. Brother Fang Fan is a great talent. Brother Fang Fan is smart. Lu Dalong hastily boasted. For Lu Dalong, what he does every day is actually very simple, just bragging about Fang Fan a few times. Anyway, it takes off every time it blows. It's so refreshing. Before Fukin, Snow Eagle Fort's 8,000 troops were massive, and for a moment, there was an extremely strong sense of oppression, which inexplicably made people feel trembling. Immediately, I couldn't control the various rhythms in it at all. The 8,000 troops of Snow Eagle Fort looked over at a glance, and they could clearly feel their strong fighting spirit. It seems that the surrounding arrogance is about to be completely burned up. The anger is getting stronger and stronger. On the other hand, those soldiers in the Changling Mansion looked very listless at the moment, and at first glance, there was no hope at all. Snow Eagle Fort, this is the existence of the next level, it can gather 8,000 troops. What about Changling Mansion? Now even 5,000 troops are not enough. I have to say, This thing is a joke. It's boring, it's really boring. In terms of morale, it is already a match. It doesn't exist on the same level at all. If you insist on talking shit together, then you are a sand sculpture. The taste here is not good. After thinking about it, the consciousness collapsed. That's it? Lay high. Traitor. My palace master treats you well. I promoted you to be the lord of Snow Eagle Castle. Is this how you repay my palace master? Wolf ambition. It's obvious. If the palace master hadn't promoted you in the past, what kind of thing are you? How dare you act presumptuously in front of me at this moment? The cold snort was all in place. The posture of gnashing teeth flashed across the board. While talking at the moment, his complexion gradually turned cold. The vicious feeling deep in my heart was extremely intense. Hateful. Hateful. All this hateful thing. The more I think about it, the more indignant and uneasy I feel in my heart. The current head of the Changling mansion, Lu Hong, is more or less mentally abnormal. Promote me? Reuse me? Treat me well? I don't quite understand, how on earth do you have the nerve to say these words? I, Lay High, can get to where I am today because of my own unremitting efforts. What does it have to do with you? Can you stop putting money on your face all the time? What do you think you are? Show some face, okay. When I look at you, I really see a headache. I just broke into the 7-star false god realm, and you can't wait to take my military power away. Do you think I'm a hidden danger? So you want to kill me? Isn't that what you mean? Is there anything else to say? What are you yourself? Do you really have no points in your heart? Do you need me to repeat anything? Before I was promoted, you have been suppressing my Snow Eagle fort, frantically squeezing various resources of our Snow Eagle fort. I was weak in the past, I couldn't resist, I could only obey. But it's different now. From now on, it's time to change these messy rules. Rules are always made by people. I have always believed that man can conquer nature. Lu Hong. You are an incompetent palace master. It's fine if you are incompetent, you have no virtue. Since that's the case, don't you hurry up and get off your seat. Look at what Changling Mansion has become under your leadership. Although the former Changling Mansion is not considered the leader in the entire Tianyuan Palace, it is still among the top 3, right? What about now? Now Changling Mansion is among the 10 mansions of Tianyuan Hall, so it should be the last 3, right? You are incompetent, you are useless, it's not your fault, but you are incompetent and still occupy a high position, and you still want to harm this and that, this is your stupidity. Lu Hong. You can't blame anyone for the reason why you have fallen to this point. Your stupidity created it. You are the most stupid existence. No words can describe your stupidity. Hysteria's roar followed, and at the same time, the sense of oppression gradually became stronger. For a time, this feeling seemed to be coming one after another. Among them, the passion, let's talk to that person. It exploded. It exploded in minutes. Lu Hong, the head of the Changling Mansion, had bulging veins on his forehead. Naturally, he was extremely upset at the moment. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4196. But what about being unhappy? Life. This is life. Now that the situation has reached this point, the next step is to see how he chooses. At a glance, he was at a loss. It feels like it's hard to make a choice. Are you really going to give up the Wanyan foundation of Changling Mansion? Guarding the Changling mansion, I have countless filial piety and offerings of faith beads every year, and my life is very nourishing. Even now I have been given to useless. Leaving Changling mansion, relying on my 8-star pseudo-god realm cultivation base, going to Tianyuan Hall, so I can be a Dharma protector or something. The faith beads obtained are not only a lot less, but I'm afraid I'm not as comfortable as I am now. No. Absolutely not. Why should I give in? Why should I be cowardly? This is not what I want. No. Absolutely not. The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and the consciousness burst out completely. Stream of consciousness, all in place. The resentment in Lu Hong, the head of the Changling mansion, was overwhelming. There's been a lot going on recently. It made him feel quite helpless. This made him feel extremely resentful. At this moment, cold sweat was densely covered on his forehead, and his murderous aura was overwhelming. Actually, the most important thing is to kill this Lei Hai. He is the culprit. Right, that is it. As long as you kill him, this game will be considered alive. Call. Although this Lei Hai has a talent for fighting, his cultivation level is one level lower than mine. If I can burst out in full force, maybe it's really not necessarily. The mind adapts and explodes. At the same time, the excitement is particularly surging. All thoughts are fully in place at this moment. It's really comfortable to be pampered for so long. But no matter what, it can't go on like this. He has to work hard. He has to fight. The anxious heart cannot be replaced by words at this moment. This wave, explode. Just explode. That kind of concept collapsed in an instant. Lei Hai. Go to hell. Mansion Master Lu Hong doesn't want to pay attention to benevolence, righteousness and morality at this moment. Bullshit, this is bullshit. He didn't want to think about it at all, because these were all unnecessary things. From his point of view, it has never been real. Now he only wants to carve out a way out for himself. Capture the thief first and capture the king. No matter how you say it, this truth is very clear, and it is clear in his heart from beginning to end. Thinking silently in my heart, my thoughts exploded when my thoughts flowed smoothly. According to the established direction, it will explode in an all-round way. My lord, let's go together and kill this old guy. Around, a subordinate spoke up. Prepare to besiege Lu Hong together. No, I'll be fine. Although this old guy has been raised and disabled, he is also an existence of the 8-star pseudo-god realm. If it really comes to the end of the road, it will still explode. This guy, it's not that simple. Since he wants to die, let him be fulfilled. The lord of this castle hasn't stretched his skills for a long time. To be honest, the lord of this castle really can't wait. The cold snorts gathered in all directions, and the gleam in the eyes suddenly burst out. While talking, the corners of his mouth were raised in an all-round way, such thoughts burst out smoothly. It feels quite unique. Smooth thoughts, so abrupt. Almost there. Lei Hai, the master of Snow Eagle Castle, is a 7-star pseudo-god realm. Lu Hong, the head of the Changling Mansion, is an 8-star pseudo-god. In terms of realm, Lu Hong, the head of the Changling Mansion, is even better. But this thing is actually not good. It's not just the realm that affects combat effectiveness. Especially if the difference in realm is relatively small like this, the difference is not just a star and a half. In minutes, it exploded. That kind of feeling can only be known how real it is if you experience it. Exciting batch. The inexplicable swallowing of the saliva at the moment, the stream of consciousness, I can't control it. The two big brothers are now starting a new round of decisive battle on the Changling Mansion city. At the moment, there is a feeling of a decisive battle against the Forbidden City. Dark clouds are overwhelming the city and want to destroy it. You come and I go, so lively. The divine power fluctuates in place, and from time to time, it will explode, and then give you an unwarranted sense of excitement. All kinds of tastes, all kinds of feelings, let you feel at a loss from time to time. The soldiers on both sides are beating drums to cheer. Lu Hong and Lei Hai fought fiercely for a while, but right now no one can do anything to the other. This is the most troublesome thing. Encountering such a situation, my brain is buzzing. It's nothing, just beating around a few times. The sense of impermanence in life is stronger. At this time, Fang Fan brought people over. He also brought the top 10 legions under his command, the other 6 heroes, and the 100 elites belonging to Beatty City. Beatty City is the name Fang Fan gave to the newly established forces. So now there are only 200 people following Fang Fan. What Fang Fan admired was always elite. The 100 elites in Beatty City were at the worst demigod level, and most of them were one-star pseudo-god level existences. It is relatively honest. As for the Legion soldiers under Fang Fan's command, not to mention, they are all selected from the best. All of them are the most powerful existences. Who can compete with it? They don't exist on the same level at all, and it's really not good if they have to be compared together. Anyone who understands the true meaning of this will understand. The time for the bloody battle has arrived. Fang Fan glanced at the battlefield. It seemed to be more exciting. But if you think about it, it feels like that, and there are not too many persistent and deep things to deal with. On the whole, I feel relatively calm in my heart. The overall style can still be stabilized. This is the most important thing. Fang Fan was silent, his expression was suddenly silent, and his thoughts became indifferent. Walk. Enter the city from other places, don't disturb them. Let's go into the city first and loot the palace lord's mansion and the warehouses in the city. I need the faith bead. This is Fukin after all, it shouldn't be too bad. Fang Fan licked his lips, thinking to himself. His thoughts gradually burst out. What should come will always follow. At this moment, they are already gathered in place, and the passion in the depths of their hearts is also trembling in an all-round way. This time, it's really exciting. With such admiration, the layout, and so on will naturally be opened accordingly. Now everyone's eyes and attention are focused on the battlefield, so when Fang Fan and others entered Fukin, no one noticed it at all. It was as if the green light had been turned on along the way, extremely smooth, without any decent obstacles. Fang Fan and the others headed directly towards the Fukin treasury. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4197. While they were still fighting, they went directly to the mansion lord's mansion or the treasury in the city. There was a high probability that there would not be too many obstacles. In this way, Fang Fan can be given some convenience to the greatest extent. He entered the Fukin silently, without any obstacles along the way. Generally speaking, everything is still in progress according to the established direction. In the city, there was a panic. All kinds of shouts can be heard endlessly. War is coming. In fact, it is these ordinary people who suffer the most. What are they doing wrong? Why bear the baptism of war? In such a troubled world, only by becoming stronger can we protect ourselves. This is the eternal truth. Fang Fan grabbed a few tongues belonging to Changling Prefecture, the so-called prisoners. He needs these captives to guide him. It was also the first time for Fang Fan to come to this prefecture of Changling Mansion. Let alone ransacking the mansion of the treasury master, even the location can't be figured out. This is really nonsense. Thinking up to this point, Fang Fan couldn't help turning his eyes around, thinking about it, and the pattern was established accordingly. It is more than words. At the moment, it is being promoted in an all-round way according to the established direction. My lord, this is the treasury. My lord, spare me my little one. the little one hasn't done anything bad. My lord, my lord. Boom. Bang bang bang. Kowtow like pounding garlic. The state at this moment is vividly displayed. In order to live, many times it is really possible to be infinitely humble. Too difficult. Deep in my heart, there was an inexplicable sense of panic and anxiety. After thinking about it, his eyes flickered, and his consciousness exploded. Impermanence of life. Nothing more than this. Let's go. Fang Fan waved his hand and said with a smile. Now that this is the case, there is no need to talk too much. Fang Fan led the people directly into the warehouse of Changling Mansion. Fang Fan's purpose is naturally to wipe out all the beads of faith here. Weapons and treasures are not within the scope of Fang Fan's investigation. Searched carefully for a wave. Master, a total of more than 13 million faith beads were found. Yuan Hanlin lowered his head, inexplicably feeling ashamed. At this moment, the corner of his mouth couldn't help twitching his thoughts, and it was completely messed up. Rhythm, numb. This thing is not good. It's far from what you imagined. Before winning a castle, almost 10 million belief beads could be seized. Now they have breached a warehouse in a prefectural city. Is this the only gain? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and there was a glint of sternness in them. This is far from imaginary. Who will make up for the difference? Fang Fan licked his lips, his expression unpredictable. If only this faith bead is enough to promote a 3-star pseudo-god realm army to a 4-star pseudo-god realm. This doesn't mean much to Fang Fan now. As far as the overall battle situation is concerned, the impact is not great, and after thinking about it, I feel deeply. As Fang Fan thought about it, his expression changed accordingly. I always feel that there are some special tricks in it. If you don't think clearly, sooner or later you will have problems. Forget it, no matter how small a mosquito is, it's still meat. Collect it first. Fang Fan bit his head, and didn't bother to say anything at the moment. It's not like the mentality will explode because of this matter, right? If the mentality collapsed because of this, it would be too silly. Consciousness or something, hold on. Only in this way can there be further development in the future. Master, what shall we do now? Do you want to go directly to the city gate? The battle over there has intensified. On the side, Yuan Hanlin came over and said. At the gate of the city, I can't go there yet. Now our net worth is too little. Go to the palace master's mansion. I don't believe it anymore, there is nothing to gain. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, he didn't believe this evil anymore. How could such a huge Changling prefecture be inferior to a castle? He came here from 1,000 miles in order to be able to quickly arm himself. If this thing directly pulls the hips, it's really meaningless. Fang Fan squinted his eyes and was full of thoughts, and now he could only go to the palace lord's mansion to try his luck. If there is a chance, there may be some special gains. Fang Fan didn't stop, and led his elite troops to the palace lord's mansion. After all, this is the palace master's residence, so there are still some guards. But after being shot by Gothic Gatling's army, the palace master's mansion was breached. Fang Fan called all the people from the palace master's mansion over. Identify the location of the warehouse of the city lord's mansion. The designator can live, or die. Fang Fan was straightforward. At this moment, there is no need to talk about it, the rhythm and so on must be completely collapsed. These are the most important. If there is a slight deviation, the loss is too much. At this time, Fang Fan couldn't afford to lose it. You say. Fang Fan pulled a beautiful woman over. I don't know. You go away. I'm still the palace master's third wife. You dare to be rude to me. Lord Palace Master will not let you go. You're dead. You're dead. Let go of me. Let me go. Otherwise, the palace master will definitely kill you. Get out! Get out! Hesteri's roar followed, and then this beautiful woman who claimed to be the third wife of the palace master actually attacked Fang Fan desperately. Fang Fan's eyes flickered with anger. Seek death? Seeking benevolence. If you insist on dying, what can I do? I can only beat you to death directly. Fang Fan then sighed, it was too real. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. That being the case, there is nothing to say. Fang Fan waved his hand. A blood Shura stepped forward with a Shura knife in his hand. Click. With the knife in hand, a big head fell to the ground. Looking at the past, inexplicably, people feel panicked. Just die. Very direct. It didn't even make a whimper, and then it was so cold. Life is impermanent, nothing more than this. There was a wave of sighs, inexplicably feeling this way. The blood made these people realize their own status and value. Times have really changed. Who else wants to fight me? You can say it now. I can work it out together. You can try to howl now to see if the palace master you have been thinking about will come back to save you. My patience has a limit. I hope you all have something in your heart. To be honest, I have no grievances or enmities with you, and I don't want to kill you either. As long as you can cooperate with me well, why should I fight against you? Fang Fan was straightforward. What he said was the truth. What he wants has always been the faith bead. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4198. Don't say anything. Do you want to try to challenge my bottom line? Interesting. I suddenly became interested in you. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and a sense of oppression came over him as he spoke. At this moment, the facial expression gradually becomes sharper. Deep down, this feeling slowly became anxious. From now on, every minute, I will kill 1/10 of you. In this case, after 10 minutes, you will all be dead. Think about it carefully. Why do you have to be stubborn here? Why, what are they all about? So stubborn, what good is it for you? Fang Fan tried to enlighten them. These things should always be made clear. You can't just dawdle like this all the time and don't understand anything, that's not good. 1 minute, it's almost here. So, who will be the first lucky ones? Let's look forward to it together, shall we? Fang Fan said with a smile. The feeling of the unknown is the most exciting. Because you don't know when you will be killed. Maybe in the next moment, this life will end. With this thought in mind, streaks of cold sweat trickled down from his forehead. For a moment, the whole person completely collapsed. My lord. We really don't know the location of the warehouse. The location of the warehouse in Fuku is top secret, we really don't know. At this moment, a young servant in Tsingyi said tremblingly. Tell me, whoever knows the location of the warehouse, you can live. Otherwise, the next moment is your time of death. I hope to hear some truth. Don't try to make me feel distraught. My temper is not very good. I hope you can think it through yourself. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and said solemnly. The young boy in Tsingyi couldn't help shaking his body crazily. Eyes full of horror. Immediately followed by trouble. At this moment, how dare to say half a word? Mentality or something, it has already exploded on the spot. Life is impermanent, how did you face such an end? Too difficult. The more I think about it, the more restless I feel. His whole body was covered in cold sweat. The manager knows. The chief executive knows. The chief manager is the most trusted person of the palace master. If he doesn't know, it's impossible for us to know. If anything happens to the palace master, he will not hide it from him. The young man in Tsingy gritted his teeth, then panted quickly. It's already such a time, what else is there to say? The most important thing is to quickly collapse your consciousness. Thinking of this, I was shivering and chilling all over my body. Almost spit out a mouthful of reverse blood. At this moment, the designated chief executive became completely soft. Immediately collapsed to the ground. Don't. It's okay, it's nothing to do with me. Don't trouble me. I don't know anything. Really, you have to trust me. Hysteria's roar came, and the whole person was stunned. I couldn't say a word at the moment, I was about to vomit directly. The chief executive is a big fat man with a fat body. At this moment, perhaps because of fear, the cold sweat on his forehead couldn't stop falling. At this moment, he simply slumped on the ground, the fat on his body trembling all the time. Almost passed out immediately. Too difficult. You know. Tell me. You can all live. You will be their brother. You will be the savior. Fang Fan muttered to himself, his eyes flickered to the extreme. Such a mood is being contained without limit. For a time, all the feelings are fully in place. I don't know. The treasury has won. But there are some sundries inside. It's definitely not what adults want. As for the other warehouse, it has always been under the control of the mansion master himself. I don't know, I really don't know. My lord, let me go, let me go. Please, please. Woo 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 woo. The cry is in place. The taste here is like a propeller, spinning crazily. For a while, people feel dizzy. For a while, nothing could be said. It's a mess, I don't know why. Almost spit it out. Too difficult. This taste, this feeling, is too bad. For a moment, his expression was numb, his thoughts were messed up, he was nothing, and he was restrained without limit. Impermanence of life. Oh. So, you are a waste. Are you useless? Then you can go and die now. It's worthless to stay here. Fang Fan nodded, with a solemn face, and immediately made a gesture to kill this thing directly. Now he doesn't have time to continue talking nonsense here. It is so realistic to look at the stuff and directly suppress it in place. The rest is really not that important. Calm and solemn. While thoughts are flying, everything is silent. It feels quite comfortable. Don't kill me. I was wrong, I was wrong. I knew I was wrong. Don't dare, never dare again. Please, don't torture me, don't torture me. I can't stand it. I know where there is another inner library. But I said, Lord Palace Master will definitely kill me. I'm sure I'm going to die. The master of the palace is cruel and merciless. Woo woo woo. The chubby chief manager was running nose and tears at the moment. Desperate at the moment. While talking, the whole person immediately collapsed. He gasped for breath, and then couldn't say a word. At the moment, just follow Mazwa. Difficult to go to the blue sky. How to praise it next? It's not certain whether your palace master can survive this time, why are you so nervous? Actually, it's unnecessary. Furthermore, if you tell me now, you may still have a chance, but if you don't tell me, you will die soon. That's all for now, I hope you can think about it yourself. Since the matter has been respected to this point, I hope you can also think about it clearly. It's not like everything is muddled. It's not good. Fang Fan shrugged and said calmly. This wave swept in place, and the sense of suppression was very strong. If I say so, can my lord save my life? The head manager gritted his teeth, feeling uneasy in his heart. At this moment, his heart has been shaken. Loyalty. That stuff is actually the most ridiculous thing. Where does absolute loyalty come from? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4199. Ken. As long as it is within my ability, I will protect you. Of course, in my opinion, under the current circumstances, it's hard to say whether the Palace Master Lu Hong will survive today or tomorrow. It's really unnecessary for you to worry about these things now. Fang Fan shrugged. My lord, do you mean that the Palace Master is going to die soon? This can't be. The fat chief executive froze for a moment, his eyes full of disbelief. This feels, still a bit weird. Therein lies the great problem. Why not? Dark clouds overwhelm the city to destroy it. What happens after that, who knows? Fang Fan shrugged and said calmly. Stop talking nonsense. Come here directly. Take me to the warehouse. If my patience is exhausted, it means your death has come. Don't try to talk about things with me. You're not good enough. Fang Fan's voice gradually became cold. While talking at the moment, the eyes flashed with extreme cruelty. Yes, yes. Don't worry, my lord. Since I have already surrendered, I will naturally not mess around. This is to lead the way for the adults, immediately lead the way. The obese chief manager suddenly panicked, then quickly nodded and bowed, his face gradually showing a flattering look. This kind of thing must be tense mentally. Realizing the position, thoughts fluttered, and the whole person relaxed a lot for a while. Although there were some twists and turns in the middle, it was basically not a big problem. Fortunately, I found it in this library. I don't have a key, the key is in the hands of the palace master himself. Looking at the big iron gate, the fat chief manager said helplessly. It's just an iron gate, what is it? It was removed directly. Fang Fan waved his hand and said calmly. My lord, I have to remind you, this big iron gate is not that simple. In it, there are many organs. If you force it open without the key, it may hurt you. And at that time, the palace master still had a sense. Aren't you afraid, my lord? On the side, the fat chief executive followed up. This organ is not a self-destruct organ, is it? Fang Fan glanced at the fat chief executive and asked. This, I don't know. The big manager didn't answer directly, but hesitated. Seeing him like this, Fang Fan's heart became more and more clear. At a glance, it feels like that. All in all, it's not a big deal. Almost all can hold up. The rhythm of this wave is relatively stable. Fang Fan let out a sigh of relief, his eyes flickered. It can't be a self-destruct mechanism. Otherwise, it would be too easy for people to destroy this thing. Anyone can come and forcibly attack this warehouse. As for some messy mechanism attacks, how strong can it be? Come on. Bombard me directly. Fang Fan waved his hand and said calmly. Boom. Bang bang bang. The 4-star pseudo-god realm Gothic destroyer god Gatling core began to shoot in full swing. Feeling that the power was not enough, Fang Fan immediately pulled out the deity artillery core. Who can stand up to a cannon with a caliber of tens of thousands of millimeters? Not to mention anything else, just by taking a look at it, I feel inexplicably terrified in my heart. Is this a cannon? Gudong. The overweight manager was suddenly stunned. Taking a deep breath at this moment, his whole body was trembling. So humming trembling. At this moment, the black line on the forehead flickered, and the whole person was in a state of anxiety. During the conversation, the rhythm and so on have long been crushed. At this moment, I just want to hit the past with my head. That taste, that feeling, shouldn't be too strong. Really scared. Boom. Tens of thousands of caliber cannons hit the spot in one shot, and the house in front of them was directly destroyed. As for the mechanism, what mechanism exists? I looked around, there was nothing. Where did the agency come from? Because the shell was too powerful, it was blown out directly. So at this moment, nothing can emerge. Directly, numb the spot. That's pretty much the rhythm. True and clear. I feel silently in my heart, everything is silent. After thinking about it, I understand everything. Go in and look for it. The first thing to protect is the faith bead. As for other things, you can ignore them for the time being. Fang Fan groaned, then followed with a cold snort. These are the most important. Fang Fan licked his lips, his thoughts fluttering to the extreme. Now it's like betting on stones, the momentum has been won, and it is unknown what will appear in the last stone. For the time being, these are all a bit ungraspable. While the thoughts were flying, the consciousness was in place, and the feeling became more and more appropriate. At this moment, the mood is focused at this moment, and the steps are taken accordingly. Half an hour later. Owner. Yuan Hanlin rushed over excitedly. Fang Fan breathed a sigh of relief, seeing Yuan Hanlin like this, it should be almost done. How many? Fang Fan directly asked about the core endpoint. A total of, more than 1.33 billion faith beads. Crystal clear, all of them. Too much, really too much. Looking at the past, you can't even see the way back. Terrible. Master, we've done it. We've done it. Yuan Hanlin said excitedly. While talking at the moment, the corners of his mouth couldn't help trembling. That kind of extreme excitement is really a little out of control this time. Excited to the extreme, directly evolve everything. 13,000. Hiss. Fang Fan stood up abruptly, his eyes full of excitement. Even with his determination, he couldn't help being shocked at this moment. This number is indeed a bit much. 10 times more than expected. Originally, Fang Fan thought it would be enough to get 100 to 200 million faith beads, but Fang Fan calculated according to 10 times the amount of a castle. Unexpectedly, it was 100 times. 1.3 billion faith beads. With these startup funds, it will be much easier to control in the future. Fang Fan nodded silently, his thoughts gradually fluttered, and the corner of his mouth was still smiling. According to the established position, it is gradually promoted. Now I have 6 4-star pseudo-god realm legions and 4 3-star pseudo-god realm legions under my command. Let's take advantage of the opportunity to promote these 4 3-star pseudo-god realm legions to 4-star pseudo-god realm legions. This is the most important thing. As for the next thing, it can be changed and advanced. Start promotion. Ding. Consuming 49 million belief beads to buy 49 million god level promotion cards, 4 3-star pseudo-god realm legions were successfully promoted to 4-star pseudo-god realm. At this moment, the top 10 legions under Fang Fan's command are all 4-star pseudo-god realm. And the faith beads consumed are just a drop in the bucket. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4200. Now Fang Fan still has almost 1.3 billion faith beads in his hands. It's okay, continue to promote. There was a fiery look in Fang Fan's eyes. The 10 4-star pseudo-god realm legions are all his confidence. There are 2 choices before Fang Fan. Or promote all the top 10 legions to the 5-star pseudo-god realm. If everyone is promoted to a level, it is still relatively possible, and it will not seem too difficult. The other one is dedicated to a legion, which can be promoted to the 6-star pseudo-god realm by 2 levels at once. Fang Fan seemed a little stuck at the moment. He hesitated. If you are promoted as a whole, you can certainly get more 5-star pseudo-god existences, but this will seem too mediocre. Compared to the current overall situation, it is not very cost-effective. After all, I'm about to fight against more strong men behind me. Fang Fan groaned, his expression unpredictable. For a moment, thoughts fluttered. At the gate of the city, the 8-star pseudo-god realm's Changling Mansion's master and the 7-star pseudo-god's realm master Lei Hai are fighting fiercely. Compared to myself, it is impossible to stay here forever. Sooner or later, it's going to go straight over. From this point of view, I have to do something. Fang Fan pondered for a while, thinking to himself, his thoughts swelled all over. Specialize a legion. In this way, in the next battle, the maximum effect and combat power can be exerted. This is the most important thing right now. Something more real appeared in Fang Fan's mind. Gradually, in accordance with the established direction, fully respected to the end. Now we can see which legion to choose to fully upgrade 2 levels at once. Is it the Gatling Legion of Gothic Destroyer? It's still the Shenlong Gran Legion or the Blood Shuro Legion. These legions each have their strengths and weaknesses. Once you advance to 2 levels of the Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion, you will get 12 6-star pseudo-god Gatling machine gunners. Once the combat power is unleashed, it will be endless. That scene will make people feel infinitely exciting. At that time, there will be extraordinary scenes. At this moment, it is still necessary to stabilize these rhythms. If you are not careful, some abnormal deviations may appear. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and immediately started brainstorming. For a moment, the tearing of the picture in front of him became more and more intense. Gradually, there is no direction at all. Dragon Man Legion. It's better to be promoted to the Dragon Army. Once the Shenlong Gran Legion uses the Legion's exclusive skill Human Dragon Unity, they can get a 1-hour combat power bonus, and then they will be able to gain a level of combat power within an hour. If all the resources of the Faith Beads are piled up on the Shenlong Gran Legion, the Shenlong Gran Legion can be promoted to the 6-star pseudo-god realm. If you use the Legion's exclusive skill Human Dragon Unity to increase your combat power by 1 level, then you will have the combat power of the 7-star pseudo-god realm. 18 7-star pseudo-god realm combat power lined up. Even if it's only for an hour, that's enough. After all, Lu Hong, the head of the Changling Mansion, is only in the 8-star pseudo-god realm, and he is also an 8-star pseudo-god realm who has enjoyed countless years. If there is a real fight, it is unknown what kind of combat power it will have. But since the master of Snow Eagle Castle, Lei Hai, can challenge Lu Hong, the mansion master of the 8-star false god realm, with a 7-star false god realm cultivation base, it shows that he cannot be too strong. So, I'm relieved. Originally, if I played against Shanxiang Bao or Changling Mansion, I wasn't very sure, and it was the most powerful among the 3. But now it's changed, but it's not the same. Take Changling Mansion and seize the day. Now this Changling Mansion is most likely, all of them can be taken. So, it's much more stable. Fang Fan let out a sigh of relief, thinking silently in his heart at this moment. The radiance in his eyes exploded in full force. It's a matter of deliberation, and everything goes without saying. This time, these are fully implemented in accordance with the established orientation. Taste or something, it feels okay. At the moment, it is developing smoothly and proceeding smoothly, and the feeling is not too bad. Lu Hong, the head of the Changling Mansion, who was in the bloody battle before, was panting heavily, his body was a little weak, and he couldn't help wiping the cold sweat from his forehead at this moment. His whole body was about to collapse. It's kind of too uncomfortable. The whole person seems to be completely collapsed. My brain was buzzing and I didn't know what to say. This Lei Hai has really become a climate. It's so powerful now. Snort. It really exceeded my expectations. But it's okay. What a big deal. Dare to treat me like this, and I will definitely teach you a lesson later. I'm going to make you eat and walk around. Damn it. Sooner or later, we'll kill you. The posture of gritting teeth is fully displayed, and the consciousness is surging to the extreme. All of a sudden, thoughts erupted in an all-round way. Mansion Master Lu Hong felt more and more resentment in his heart. All this hateful thing. How did he become such a dog? These are far from what he expected. My internal library. Who broke through the palace lord's inner treasury? Little thief. Little thief. How dare you be such a jerk? Ah. Ah. Little thief. My palace master will not let you go. Dead. Die. Hesteri's roar followed, and the attitude of gnashing his teeth was fully displayed. For a while, his mentality completely exploded. The more I think about it, the more I feel a little unsure in my heart. At this moment, he was panting quickly, the corners of his mouth twitched to the extreme, and his consciousness stretched to the extreme. Immediately, it was impossible to grasp the messy proportions in it. It's all damn it. Why not die? Damn. The resentment and anger in my heart exploded at this moment. He is fighting here at the moment, and he can't get away at all, and then this kind of thing broke out at this time. Damn. At this moment, he was so angry that his whole body was shaking. As the eyeballs trembled wildly, the stream of consciousness collapsed. There are thousands of thoughts, and the rhythm directly follows the explosion. He. Why is Palace Master Lu Hong so violent? If Lu Hongfu mainly feels pressure, he might as well retreat right now. You and I have known each other for a while, and the owner of this castle is not willing to drive you to death. If Palace Master Lu Hong is willing to leave Changling Castle, and promises that he will never return to Changling Mansion, you can leave here alive. The cold snort swept across, and the consciousness was directly suppressed to the extreme. Lei Hai, the owner of Snow Eagle Castle, said domineeringly.